Hello. This is my case study of Momodora, Reverie Under the Moonlight. 2D level design case study. So to start with, it gives us our input method. I'm going to choose controller, just because I'm using a controller, we're going to skip over looking at it. And let's just do normal difficulties for the sake of being a gamer. So to start with, it pans over from the right to the left, showing us, giving us a small intro into the world of Momodora. We understand that this guy isn't really a companion, and we told him some things on the way here. We learned that our weapon is a leaf. That's our weapon. There's a curse going on throughout the land, and we're gonna go try to find the queen. So the game starts off with us in this position. It shows us the D-pad is our movement. We could talk to the guy by pressing up. These contextual button prompts appear, helping us understand what we have to do. We start on the left side of the screen, so it means that we should run right. Here another button prompt appears. And another one. From this we learn that we can double jump and drop down through platforms by pressing down and A. So this gives us a little insight that there's an Easter egg, or some secrets. There's a chest. We haven't learned how to open it yet, so we could come back to that anytime, but for the sake of time I probably won't come back to that. So there's a ladder here. I don't have to press down and A, I can just press down. We see this object hanging off a stem. It's glowing, kind of sparkling, so it looks like an interactable object. And it is because another button prompt appears. It's a bellflower. So right after we got the equipment, it tells us how to equip the equipment, or equipable item. It recovers a small amount of HP. From here, we learn how to attack. So the enemy is placed like this, facing away from us, so it does not aggro on the player. This makes it a training dummy for us to test out our attacks on. So if you want to hit something again, it gives you more practice. So here we learn how to do a ranged attack, but yeah, we learn how to do a ranged attack. And we can charge it up. Alright, I suck. So the camera usually lagged behind the player until we got to this point. From this we see that that orb is glowing, or has some type of radius around it, and that there are arrows, so maybe we should try to hit it from here with our arrow. From this we learn that we can progress through the level by interacting with the surroundings. So we'll probably see more orbs like this in the future, and we'll have to shoot them with our arrow. So we learn how to save the game by hitting the bell, and then we can just pray to save. Hitting the bell restores our items as well. A button prompt appears saying that we can dodge through enemies and enemy attacks. So every other enemy that we hit so far did not make this sound. This means that we can't damage the enemy like this. Instead it would make those sounds, which are pretty chunky. when we enter this area, we first see this bomb guy appear, and even though it's not hitting us, we get poisoned just from the clouds alone. So we're immediately thrown that, hey, we should be cautious around this area, as there are ranged enemies now. So there was a small flicker of light right before I killed that other enemy. We'll see what that small flicker is at this enemy, because I killed that one too soon. Oh, maybe at the next enemy. Yeah, at the next enemy. Okay, so this is our first area of vertical combat. This is the most up and down we've had to go, showing that increasing the difficulty. So we see another hopping enemy. Hopefully he blinks. Oh man, he's kind of quick, huh? Alright, I guess he's not gonna blink. This is the first time we had two enemies so close to each other, increasing the difficulty of the game. Oh, that happened. Running to the left. So this game does a really good job of having a less saturated background and a more vibrant foreground. This shows us that we could stand on objects like this, even though it appears to just be floating. This game has a very fair learning curve to its new players. So, standing here, we see the blinking orb again, which means we progress through the level. So the game's feel is that it's kind of a slow-paced platformer. And look, there's a drop down here, and we found a secret. So this shows that there are some secrets in the game that the player could find if they were to look for them. So right there you just saw, oh, I don't know what that is. Alright, we're avoiding that for now. But we just saw our player stop moving completely as we were landing, signifying that this is not like a super fast hack and slash type of game. It's one where you're supposed to be cautious. What really emphasizes that is that the camera lags behind the player. By having the camera lag behind the player has to be more cautious, or they risk running straight into an enemy. These clouds are the same color as the bombs, so they are poisonous. Our arrows travel through this enemy because it's not an enemy. Wow. Okay, well, called me stupid, so I don't need to talk to that person. So this is the first area where we see multiple environmental hazards and enemies at the same time. So we got introduced to them all very slowly, one at a time. And an enemy just dropped out of nowhere, which is new to us. So as you can see, the difficulty of the level is increasing. However, it's still slow-paced, as these platforms are very slow. we usually see enemies before they have the ability to hit us. So, if we take things cautiously, then we're fine. By having us over here, we see that enemies walk through, so there's probably a secret underneath this platform. Yeah, looks like it was a chest, as it just dropped a bunch of monies. So the difficulty increases as we didn't see this enemy below us beforehand. It came out of nowhere. So if we took too long, we would have been flanked by that enemy. So this drop down shows that we can't go through this area because it's too small. And now we have our first boss. So this boss actually incorporates all the fundamentals of the game that we just experienced. You can't walk through that wall, so there's no leaving. And that light shows that little flash shows that the boss is about to hit us. So we should run. Now we understand that we can't go back as far because some poison clouds are appearing behind us, increasing the difficulty even more. Attacks come out. So, as soon as we kill the boss, it starts losing its saturation and becomes gray, showing that it's no longer a threat. And then we can continue on with the game. There's a guy here. And now we learn our name. And he knows that we're going to the Queen. I believe he said we're going to Karst City, which is the next area. Yes. And as of now, this is all that I have for my 2D level design case study. Thanks for watching.